welcome to another edition of In the Spotlight with Mayor Jeffrey Mims. And today I have a special guest. Of course, you know, all my guests are special. So our Director of Recreation, Parks and Recreation, Mr. Stephan Marcellus.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing great.
Good.
Glad to be here.
Good. So you survived this weekend. A little hot out there?
Yeah, it was definitely a little hot out there. We had our Wreck Your Hood event out at Residence Park from 1 to 4, and I don't think we anticipated how hot it was going to be, but it was definitely hot. But, you know, we were glad to be out there serving the community.
Yeah. I think they enjoyed it. Yeah. So how many have you had so far this year?
So we've had, so last weekend was number 3.
Okay.
We have another one coming up on August 9th at Shorter Park.
Okay.
But this past one was at Residence Park.
Right. Right. So we're doing those things in the neighborhood. What's your take on those who say all the time that there ain't nothing to do with Dayton, there ain't nothing to do for the kids in terms of recreation, and while we know there's a lot of valid responses to that in terms of what's not happening, because there has been an effort and so many places across the nation, especially in urban communities, where budgets have minimized the ability for us to do some kinds of things in our neighborhoods, in our communities, that more affluent communities take as a given, if you will.
Yeah.
And so the work that you're doing, and from that perspective, talk about how and why you think it's so important.
Well, you know, first, whenever somebody hears that, I just cringe. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you know, you haven't looked. Right. You know, we definitely have a bunch of programs for youth and adults. Mm-hmm. You know, we try to keep everybody busy, right? So when summer comes, that's when we're working the most. Okay. And you know, we're putting in 6-7 days a week trying to make sure that we have things for people to do, right? So it's very important for me to make sure that we're putting programs on, events on that people want to have going. For example, Wreck Your Hood that we just had. You know, it was very important for us to take programming back to the neighborhood, because for so long, you know, we did events and stuff downtown, and you know, our city manager said, hey, you know, while you know, the music festival was great, I want you to go back to the neighborhood like we used to do way back when, and do things for the community specific to them, specific to that neighborhood. Okay. So that's how Wreck Your Hood came about. And, you know, any event or program that we do, we try to make sure that we tailor it to that community, or tailor it to the need that's going on at that time. Our swim lessons, we do swim lessons all the time. And, you know, it's very important for us to make sure that every young person knows how to swim. Okay. So we're trying to always make sure that young people know that we have swim opportunities available. Parents, too. You know, you don't know how to swim, come down and learn how to swim. Yeah. You never know when you're going to be in the water. Yeah. It's a lifesaver. Oh, definitely.
And then, again, back in some time, you know, as I say, back in the day, okay, the aspect of so many of us had, you know, pools to go to. I think one of the biggest pools we had was Mallory Pool. Yeah. And, of course, challenges, financial challenges, if you will, caused us to not have that anymore, for lack of another word. Yeah. But the aspect of how I remember my first time actually swimming, someone pushed me into the pool in the 10 feet during break time, where I think the lifeguards were out, you know, taking their break, and I was in there by myself. For about 35, 40, 50 seconds, it seemed like, before I learned how to swim. I splashed around, made a bunch of noise, and created a whole bunch of anxiety, if you will. But after about a minute, I was comfortable in that space. You know? Yeah. Very beneficial in terms of doing that. Yeah. You know, ride my bicycle back and forth, trying to get to Mallory Pool, regardless as to where I was. Yeah. So some of the other kind of things that you do, swimming is important, of course, is one. Yeah. But what other kind of things you guys are doing in terms of programming?
So fall is coming up here pretty soon, even though we don't want that to happen weather-wise. Right. But it is coming up, needless to say. So we have our NFL flag program that's getting ready to start here probably in late August, early September. We have partnership with the NFL to put on a flag football league. Okay. And so what's special about it is that every kid that signs up to play, they get a NFL type uniform. Okay. To play in. So, you know, while your favorite team may be the Browns, you may be a Dolphin.
I can't imagine who would be a Browns fan. They have the most loyal fans in the world.
Yeah. So we get a lot of kids that come out and play. They love wearing the NFL uniforms. They play at Centennial Field, which is on turf, and they just have a great time. So that's coming up pretty soon, and it's for girls, for young girls and young boys, and they just love having a good time. They have on they put on the eye black and everything else, and the gloves and the cleats, and they're just ready to go.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So what else? I know you guys did some things in golf, and we're always having those programs in terms of young people with golf. We kicked off more programs this year in terms of Little League Baseball. So let's talk about that, because now they're over at Kettering Field.
Yeah.
Now little kids can play like the big boys.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a bit.
Yeah. So so we have our own baseball team, our baseball league that we do, and so really the issue is that baseball is a declining sport in our area, right? So we know that, and so we're trying to do everything we can to get young people and their parents to understand that baseball is still one of the best sports in this nation.
Correct.
You just need to be exposed to it. So, we know a lot of kids are intimidated by being just thrown into a league. So what we started off doing was putting kids in clinics, just letting them hit the ball, letting them catch, understand what it's about to play the sport. And then when we get done with the clinic, we actually give them the option to play in the league. Yep. So we did that this year. We had a good turnout. We probably had 70 to 80 kids, and the league is still going on now.
Correct.
And then we also partnered with a local organization called First Dayton. For anybody that has lived in Dayton for forever, you know about First Dayton. And
I played in First Dayton when I was back, so it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I know you know about it. So First Dayton is they're having their league, which they should be finishing up their season here pretty soon out at Kettering Field. And it was great to have them. Any organization to help us grow the game, we're definitely interested in partnering with to grow the game, get kids interested so that they're playing the sport, and by the time they get to high school age, they're trying out for their high school team. Yeah. Right? And you never know what that can lead to. That can lead to a scholarship or what have you. You talk about golf all the time, and we try to get our young people interested in that. We had a youth league out at Community this year where young people who play golf can come out and play just like anybody else. We had a camp as well. So we do anything and everything we can to get young people to understand and get them interested in the game. We had a lacrosse league this summer, and we didn't know how that was going to go. Okay. And we probably had 10 kids come out, 10 to 15 kids, and they really loved it. So, we're definitely interested in anything and everything to get young people interested in things they've never done before.
Yeah. This past, I think it was April, I had my, officially my annual golf clinic, Mayor's Golf Clinic. Yeah. And so I used the golf coach at Central State University, who was one of my mentees when he was in high school, Mr. William Ware. Yeah. He's the golf coach at Central State, and he brought his team members down to help me with the golf clinic. He also has the distinction of being a professional bank teller, not bank teller, but bank manager. Yeah. So he was a manager at PNC Bank, and he was also the coach at the Wilberforce University. So because he could not find enough players starting off, he started working with young people within the school system. So he went to Dunbar High School, his alumni, and picked up 5 young people who had never played golf before, taught them how to play golf, and then gave them a scholarship at Wilberforce. Those young people have now graduated, and they're now working throughout the city in terms of manufacturing, engineering, and working in those particular spaces. They practice on a consistent basis because right now they're getting ready for their season starting off. And so they want to continuously help out and help out the community as well. So anytime I call them, they will come and help and deal with the young people. So I had 30 young people who were engaged in golf, and they're from schools all over the area, and mostly primarily Dayton Public Schools. And we worked at a community golf course, which is, of course, our city golf course. And they had a ball for about three hours in terms of learning every aspect of the game. And some of them right now are on the golf teams in Dayton Public Schools, those schools that have golf teams. So very beneficial from that perspective. Yeah. So if someone would say, for example, and I don't know what caused you to want to be in recreation, about seeing the importance of that or the lack of importance, or think it was just going to be fun, Why? Why do you feel that recreation is one of those viable elements, if you will, as far as society is concerned? And why do you think the role that you play, as far as the city is concerned, is something that makes a difference as far as a young person having that activity and something like that to look forward to?
Well, I've always considered recreation as something that you do, whether you're a really small person or someone that's 99 years old, right?
Okay.
You don't have to want to be involved in activity and think that you're going to be a pro at it, right? So I always encourage people to, try anything and see what sticks. Okay. A lot of people didn't know what pickleball was, and now we have people playing pickleball all over the place.
Okay.
And so not only do you have fun, but there's a health component to that. There's a socialization component to that. You don't know what friends you're going to make. Right. So we have people that come to the center all the time or come to our playing fields to try something new, and they come out with a totally different experience than what they got going in.
Okay.
And so if we could tell you some of the friendships that have been built, these people come in thinking one thing and they come out with something else. They come out with 10 different friends they didn't know they had. Okay. And next thing you know, they're doing things together outside of the rec center that they didn't know they were going to do before. So for us, it's always get involved so that not only so we can help you create a healthier lifestyle, but also, we're all in this together. We all live in Dayton or around Dayton, and you never know what friendship you're going to create.
Correct. Yeah. I think those partnerships that you mentioned, relationships that you build, also helps those individuals who are maybe on a team. They'll go together because a lot of the young people are also, and those got gray hair like myself, and all those ages in between, are going to the rec center. They're working out at the gym. Great equipment that you have in terms of that space as well. Talk about some of that for a minute, because I think the aspect of even again as we talk about more and more individuals as far as society is concerned are seeing the healthy lifestyles that you referred to earlier prolong quality of life. Yeah. Because individuals who are doing certain things in terms of stretching, walking, lifting weights, or the myriad of machines that you have in our spaces, talk about that for a bit in terms of how those things benefit society.
Well, we have 3 facilities, and all of them have different amenities. And, the biggest thing is a lot of people that we get coming in, they don't know how to even use the machine.
Right.
They know that it could change their life, but they don't even know how to use it. So the first thing we do is we orient you to what you're actually trying to use, whether it's a treadmill, a piece of weight equipment. And when people realize, oh, that's what this does, I see it all the time coming in, but I never knew, it changes them. And so they start to create a regular routine of working out. And it doesn't have to be in the weight room. It could be walking the gym. It could be swimming, what have you. They come in, we introduce them to it. And then once they say, oh, this is something I think this is for me, then they start to create a regular routine. If you saw the number of people that come in for that 6 a.m. open swim, it's nuts. It's bananas. And a lot of people love the pool because it creates flexibility for them, and they feel like they're not doing something strenuous.
Okay.
So, we definitely urge people to come in, try something new. Don't be intimidated at all. Nobody's looking at you. Come in, let us introduce you to whatever the activity you're interested in, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends who go over to Northwest Rec Center early in the morning. They're part of that 6 o'clock group that you're talking about, and they're there saying just, again, the low-impact work that they get in the pool, the aspect of stretching, light weights, and even heavy weights if they want to do that. But, again, they swear by it, so that they're on a consistent basis trying to keep their bodies in shape.
And then they start recruiting you to come with them.
Yeah, they try, for real. And I try to do some things both here, there, everywhere, because I found out that the stronger you are in certain parts of your body, the better it is as far as whatever activity you're doing. And, of course, golf is one of my primary goals right now, and trying to continue to stay on the top of the mountain, if you will.
Right.
Sliding down a bit because I had that knee surgery last year. But, again, working in those spaces also has helped me to regain the strength and energy associated with that knee surgery.
Yeah.
So it's not that I want to do it again, but if I had to go back for an advertisement for the VA, I would say to them, yeah, let's do it again. Yeah, but no, I'm busy now. I didn't like it quite that much.
Yeah.
Okay, when I think about again other cities, whether we're looking at cities like Dayton, for example, or we're looking at cities in terms of some of the more affluent communities, recreation is always one of those top things that those citizens demand and that they want.
Every time.
Also, they talk about recreation, they talk about safety, they talk about education, they talk about jobs, career, and again, healthcare. Those are some of the kinds of things that the cities that are moving the quickest in terms of addressing the needs of their respective citizens are always, again, very highly regarded. And as we try to do things as far as the city of Dayton is concerned, making sure that we continue to move in that right direction to try to mimic, if you will, things that other high-performing cities are doing, as well as just giving our citizens what we know they need and what research says they need. So when you look at research, I'm sure you guys have done that. I know we talked to some consultants that you brought to the city, and they interviewed all the commissioners and myself about the kind of things that they glean from our thought process.
Yeah.
So what do you think about where we're going and where would you like to go, citywide, if you will?
Well, I think we're going in a good direction. When we had our consultant come in and look at our operation and what we do for the city, then one of the biggest things that came up was our facilities.
Okay.
And we have some aging facilities, but we also have made some improvements. And one of the biggest things that we identified is that Kettering Field was not where it should be for the city and the activities that we do. So we said, hey, okay, well, let's invest in Kettering Field. We know we can do more than softball and football. So we met with our city manager's office, and so we got the green light. And so now we're adding multi-purpose fields for soccer and for lacrosse, right?
Okay.
We're putting in a walking track so that parents could walk the perimeter and watch their kids play, because we knew that site could serve more of a purpose than just softball and what we've done there for years, right? And it also has a historical value too, right? That was Dayton's first airfield.
Okay.
Right. So we want to bring some knowledge to that as well. So that is a project that's going on right now. In fact, we broke ground just a couple of weeks ago to improve that space, and we should be done in about a year.
Okay.
And it's going to be great for Dayton when we get it done.
Yeah, continuously looking good. We also have Howard Field. Right?
Correct.
Okay. So Howard Field is up there closer to the park.
Yep.
Triangle Park.
And Triangle Park.
Okay.
Yep.
And talk about that space for a while.
So Howard Field, that was the first. That was the first place one of the first places where first NFL games were played, and Howard Field is very secluded. If you didn't know it was there, it is definitely one of Dayton's gems. And we right now, Chaminade, one of our local high schools, that's their home field. It is a great atmosphere for baseball, and every year we're trying to make improvements to the Howard Field, just so that it continues to hold its special place in Triangle Park. And so I think we have probably about 3 different baseball organizations playing there right now, 2 or 3. And it's just a great place to be. We try to make sure that it's an asset to the community as well that live around the field.
Yep. Right.
But the Cincinnati Reds, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, gave us money to improve that space. So if anyone hasn't seen it and they, are baseball fans, it's definitely a good place to go to watch some games.
Yep. Yeah, I've been there a bunch of times watching some of the games. I know we had, Dayton Development Coalition. His son played there, CJ's team.
Yeah.
Jeff Hogan, and he talked about all the kind of things in terms of that space. In fact, he and his family were there all the time watching games, because his son went to CJ. Again, a very good team, very good bunch of programs. And a lot of Dayton Public Schools teams are starting to play more.
Definitely.
And when we did build the schools, we did make sure we built a baseball facility at all of our local high schools in Dayton as well. But when they play some of these games against other schools, they have that space to use as well as some of the other home fields that other schools have. Yep. So this has been great for us. The aspect of how we move to make more and more things happen as far as the city of Dayton is concerned in recreation is a godsend. And really thank you guys for doing the work that you're doing, because those spaces that you have and the events, even though the weather sometimes does not cooperate, a little hot. Mm-hmm. I mean, I couldn't wait to get some water and cooler before I left there this past Saturday as I was running from one event to the next. Yeah. But to see so much happiness. And before we take off and clear the deck, if you will, some of the kind of events that you had going on at the hood. Yeah. I know you had face painting.
Yeah, so we had face painting there. We had a magician there. We had a DJ, and there's also some local organizations that come to Wreck Your Hood as well to give out their information about resources for that particular neighborhood. So we when we have that event, it's not just about recreation or the city; it's about everyone.
Yeah, I know the energy department was there. Mm-hmm. Some people from
water
the health
was there.
Department. Yep, water and the whole deal. Mm-hmm. Man, just great. Great. A bouncing ball, bouncing castle, the air castle.
Oh we have air inflatables there. Okay. Lots of stuff for kids to do. We had a mini soccer game, mini football. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And I know again, we are doing an MOU still with Dayton Public Schools, or in the process of trying to develop that, so we can partner more with their athletic programs. Because I know most cities across the region are doing those kinds of things, so that when their young people move from their city recreation programs, they move right into the high school or middle school program. It serves almost like a feeder program.
Yeah. Okay. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
All right. Mr. Marcellus.
Yes, sir.
Director of Recreation Parks.
That's me.
Okay. Or Parks and Recreation.
Okay. Recreation. Department of Recreation. Our identity changes a lot over the years with Department of Recreation.
No, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I know you had a bunch of things going on. I appreciate you taking time to come down and just sort of share some information about what you guys do for the benefit of the citizens of Dayton. Again, for those who are watching, thank you again for visiting and seeing another edition of In the Spotlight with Mayor Jeff Mims. And take advantage of our parks. Go out and go swimming. Go out and walk, run around the track, and watch your kids and take your kids and let them see you doing healthy activities as well. Thank you. Have a great day. And you can catch us, www.daytonohio.gov. Have a nice day.